very strange that I have a large nose, and I'll tell you why.
I guess you're privileged to have a big nose then, because you don't live in harsh conditions.
The habanero one? Holy fuck, dude. You know, maybe I've been treating this bike as some sort of parkour bike when really it's just a...
I once came face to face with a wild rhinoceros. That was pretty crazy.
I got stung by a bee once. And we are back for another exciting, a little bit late episode of Burning Bow Business. How's it going, buddy boy?
It's the first time we're late,
My friend? Huh?
I think it's the first time we're late.
Yes.
Which is
we do
not bad.
apologize.
Yeah.
Everyone's schedule's a little... Everyone's suffering a little. My poop schedule, just from one day yesterday, having to hold it in, it's all out of whack. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know when I'm going. Because like I've told you many times before, that's kind of the first thing I do in the morning, is I have my coffee. And I get rid of the toxins in my body, as they say. Right?
How do you do that?
By pooping. By taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. By
why
did I think it was a good idea to start with that? But anyways.
No idea.
Anyways, well, I didn't
I
get
thought
it
you
in,
were
so
gonna say. I thought you were gonna say it's winter. It's getting cold. It's a little like everything's a little slow. And then
No.
went straight to the toilet.
My schedule.
Okay.
All fucked up. So if anyone notices me being a little tense today or a little out of character, that's why.
I mean, we can pause it if you really have to.
I don't.
Okay.
Which is worrying me. It's my second cup of coffee already.
Okay. All right.
You know, and that's probably why I didn't sleep well yesterday. You know, it is a lot. Okay. Enough about that, Taylor. I don't need this anymore. No, I don't.
What, you don't like to look at the notes?
Well, I got the notes on here. I have them usually on a...
You rewrote them electronically?
I got some on my phone, some on a paper, some on here. I have one more on my phone. God, great intro, Taylor.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right, just in case we don't cut that back out. Welcome back. All right, next week. Here we are, new week. We're a little bit late.
It's winter.
It's winter. It's getting cold. It really went cold very quickly.
Now you get to experience what it's actually like. You have this false image of what Copenhagen is like by this insanely hot summer that lasted for months and months and months. Yeah. Hottest on record in like, I don't know how long.
Right.
Yeah, this is more like it. It's getting cold. I swear it's already snowed. We just don't know it.
I thought the other day a raindrop was falling kind of slowly, and I was like, is that snow?
Phoebe said it snowed
once.
She looked out the window.
It didn't stick, though.
I don't know where I was, but I didn't see it.
Anyways, it comes with a lot of problems. My nose is always running, you know. And now it
big
won't,
schnauzer.
Yeah, it just won't stop. And like I'm riding my bike and I don't know what to do. I blew my nose right into my gloves yesterday while I was riding the bike because it was just...
That's hardcore.
Yeah. Because I can't do the thing. You know, some people can just plug a nostril and just kind of shoot.
Why can't you do that?
Mine always just goes...
Oh, you go like...
I don't think I can breathe hard enough out of my nose.
Gotta go for it and risk getting like a punctured ear.
Could you grab me a tissue real quick?
Sure.
And while you're over there, what was the reaction? How did it feel to tell people about the old little poppy seed, the old little gummy bear, the old little baby?
I didn't feel much different afterwards.
Okay.
Because I think the fact that we recorded it twice,
the
whole thing, I was like, wait, like what exactly how much have we actually talked about it?
Yeah.
I got a lot of like personal messages and people saying congratulations, which is always nice. But it's like obviously we've known for a while, and suddenly everyone else knows as well, and you're kind of like excited about it in a way.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
That's cool. Okay, good. We're on the home stretch here before working on Boris and Johan.
Oh.
We're trying to get our last, what would you say, 2 projects done?
Is it 2? It feels like 3.
In the next
2
8 days.
What's the second one?
We got the
Schmidio.
Nobody will get that.
I forgot about that one.
We've got Schmeda.
Schmeda.
Potentially. And then we've got the old Schmalacy.
Yeah.
Video. Cryptic. So we're on the home stretch, just so that everyone's on the same page. You know, we are going fucking hard on this first feature film in 8 days, and then we are going at it for 3 weeks straight. I need to come up with a bit of a plan. We need to come up with a bit of a plan together. I don't think we should do that on this podcast, but I do think we should update people on sort of how do two people tackle a single...
I know, we have talked about it a little bit.
Right.
And I don't think we will know what... I think what we said is there's kind of like two ways of doing it, and that we'll start with one and we'll see if we need to transition to the second.
Exactly.
Or maybe it needs to be a combination.
Exactly. Because usually you would have one kind of main editor, and then you'd have a bunch of people kind of underneath him, right?
Yeah.
That are doing little things for him and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we don't really work like that. We kind of work more like, I feel like passing stuff back and forth, or there's nobody really like, I mean, obviously, I would say for this particular project, I kind of have final say, obviously, but
yeah,
the process itself, I don't feel like it's I'm the editor and you're the assistant editor helping me. It's very much two people.
Yeah, I think we said that we should try and like, all right, I'll work on this scene and you work on this other scene.
Right, and try to keep it excited and...
Yeah, and then once ideally, it goes well and we finish that scene and we're happy with it, both of us. But if not, then we could like pass it along and be like, I can't really figure this out, you work on this.
Right, and there's certain...
we can switch around a bit.
Exactly, and there's certain things where I think I might hit a wall because I wrote the thing and you didn't. So it might be easier for you to edit certain scenes that turned out to be a little bit different.
I agree.
And you would know, this is actually good. And in my head, I'd just be like, fuck, it's not how it was intended.
There's a reason why normally the people who write the film and direct the film don't edit it as well. Yeah. It's because you need to detach yourself from what distance. It is. Yeah.
Because if you know it took you 40 takes to get that take, the director is always gonna be like, no, we got to keep that in.
We got it.
The editor might be like, no, it doesn't serve the story. We don't actually need this.
That's why it's so good that it's been the positive with it having taken this long is that it does get easier to be like a little bit more cutthroat with it.
And let's be honest, I mean, like, people take years to make films all the time with full crews.
Yeah.
And ours is really, I mean, it's a handful of people.
We have 4 people.
So it's still, you know. And now down to...
I'm just going to set a timer. I don't think I did.
Do like 20 minutes, maybe?
Just got an email.
From who?
From...
Put an S in front of it.
Shmius. See you later.
Okay.
So we're good. We're on.
No, we will see you later.
So wait, let me blah blah blah. Timer. I really don't understand why the camera is built so that it stops recording after 30 minutes.
I don't either. It must be a... should I look it up?
Like what the benefit of it is, or is it just
I have a
shortcoming of the camera?
It comes from some...
That should be all right.
Here, why do they have a 30-minute video recording limit?
It's just... I've never once been like glad that it stopped recording. You know, like I leave my camera on accident.
Right.
It accidentally records for 30 minutes.
Right.
That doesn't really happen. It's always that something suddenly cuts off when you weren't quite paying attention to how long you'd been recording for.
Yeah. Fuck, I don't want to read this whole article, sorry. Who knows? It's annoying. I feel like cameras should be able to record for... There's so many little things. I mean, why does the camera not save a file before the battery runs out?
That's another one.
You know?
Yeah, that's bizarre. With our camera, if we forget to change the battery before the camera dies,
but sometimes,
and we're recording,
go ahead, yeah,
it will kind of corrupt that whole recording.
Right.
So even if we've been filming for 28 minutes,
right,
and suddenly the battery dies, you got to stick a new battery in, and it says that something went wrong with the last file. Right. Would you like to try and recover it?
Right. And if you do that, you're potentially fucking yourself because it might just totally fuck up the file. Whereas if you just pull out the memory card and back it up really quick, it has worked.
It has worked.
What we fucked it up was when
we tried to record onto that card.
Yeah, we keep on recording.
Yeah, so always switch SD cards. Like the other day, you were using like 3 different SD cards.
Yeah, we
2 times in a row forgot to change the battery.
So annoying. Well, it's not even it's like because you're filming, and at some point you're like, okay, she's saying something, and I'm at 7%.
Yeah.
Especially in that situation, I don't know what they're saying because they're in Danish. So I'm also like, okay, just wrap it up. Like hopefully. And I remember, and I was like, okay, she's done. I turn to you, and then I'm like, we just need to clap so that we can sync this thing.
Yeah, the footage is pretty funny.
Like, it literally turned off as you were clapping. I was like, God.
I'm like fiddling to like hold the audio recorder, and then it stops.
And then it's like sometimes you're on 2%, and it lasts, or you're on 1%, and it lasts for like another 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're on like 7%.
It's definitely not consistent.
No, so there's really no way to know.
I mean, when I was filming in the mountains last like winter, when it was like minus a lot, the batteries lasted like 15 minutes because the temperature drains them quicker. So I do think there's it's sensitive.
A little fuckery with them. Yeah. Perfect transition. Unless there's more business you want to talk about. I don't really have anything I want to bring up business wise. I
think the only thing is that it's very satisfying to be leading up to editing Boris and Johan with we're very busy right now.
Yes.
We're kind of in the middle of a 2-week nonstop streak of like working long hours and doing a lot every day.
And it's satisfying too because finally we're kind of in all parts of this process, right? We have videos that are coming out online. We have videos that are just getting started. We have videos that are in the middle of an edit.
There are videos we're still negotiating if they want to work with us.
Exactly. So it's kind of like enough time has passed now that we find ourselves in all areas. So there's always something new, exciting to work on. And you get the reward of like the videos we worked on a month ago are finally coming out, and we're getting that reward of people
41,000 views
or even hating it.
Thought I'd say that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all very exciting. And we got paid for the first time, or we should have been paid yesterday. I don't think either of us has checked, but we have our bank accounts. We've been paid, which means at some point, I feel like after our taxes, we could do a quick podcast. I don't think it needs to be super long, but just for anybody who ends up coming to Denmark and wanting to start a company, we've done it. It's still fresh in our head.
Exactly.
Kind of give a very clear, this is what you got to do.
That might be fun.
It's really not that hard.
It's not, but it takes a little while to figure out.
Exactly.
But the process itself is pretty self-explanatory.
Exactly.
Just everything takes a little time.
Exactly. Don't show your numbers on the
we got our
blur that.
Our business.
Oh my God.
Business credit cards, and it says Burning Boat
IVS
on it, which is cool.
I did not know that would be on there. Had a little bit of a moment by myself when that card came. That was nice. Okay. So you mentioned mountains.
Always.
We want to go climb a mountain. What the hell are we doing? Where are we going?
Well, you know more than I do where it is.
Right. Ah, fuck. I didn't think about that.
Okay, so we're going to the Alps, the kind of the southern Germany region, but there's so many different. It's like right on the border of Austria and Switzerland and even France. It's not too far away.
Right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Wait. Let's just start that segment again. Let me just say, we're going to climb a mountain, and let's just pretend we're flying to that mountain just to climb.
I know that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
I
just don't want that awkward
I knew what was happening.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
That's why I'm just saying where it was.
Okay, here we go.
Climbing a mountain. Yeah.
Yes. So you just mentioned it. We want to climb a mountain over New Year's, or not exactly over New Year's, but the 3 days leading up to the New Year.
Yeah.
And yeah, what are we doing? Where are we going? What are we climbing? What can we climb?
Going to the Alps.
Okay.
And we want to just do as much as we can.
Right.
In like a 3.5 day period.
Right.
And I don't know what the best thing to do is, because there's something so much fun about not planning anything at all.
Right.
and just going
right.
and figuring it out.
Right.
And that can lead to some amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, there's a mountain right there. Let's figure out if we can climb it. Like, there's something really satisfying about that. But I think there's also something really important about trying to make the most of that time. So planning for, well, what could we actually get to? What is something that would be really challenging, but also within our, what do you call it? Our experience level. Right. Something we could really do.
Which is 0 for me.
We'd have to know about and be able to kind of plan around it a little bit.
Yeah.
And prep for it.
Yeah.
I think we should do a combination of both. I think something like having a goal, not a day.
Right.
And let that kind of guide the trip as like the only thing.
I like that. I almost like a backup. So it's like, if we don't find anything, we're like, well, at least we know there's this one mountain out here. But that doesn't mean we can't stop anywhere on the way and do our own thing. And not even climb it if we don't want to.
Because I don't want to only do one.
Right.
I think we should do like...
I think there's places where you could do a couple peaks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if we're willing to overnight outside.
Right.
Which is a whole nother...
We'll have a car.
Game. Yeah, we have a car. But like, what I mean is, if we park the car and we climb a peak, but there's like a round trip that takes you to another peak the next morning, and then you go down.
Right.
You'd have to overnight on the mountain.
Right.
I mean, I don't think that's what necessarily has to happen, but...
I mean, I'm down. You, me, and your brother?
Yeah, I mean, we have a tent. It's definitely not a winter tent.
No.
I did some research because I wanted to overnight in it last winter outdoors and knew that it wasn't suitable for -degrees. So I was like researching how can you be safe in a tent like that? Like, how can you insulate yourself? Like, what are the do's and don'ts about that kind of situation?
Right.
It's definitely possible. It just takes a little bit more planning.
Okay.
You have to wear...
As in, like, better sleeping bags or...
No, well, it's a combination of a tent that isn't suitable for extreme temperatures and a sleeping bag that isn't suitable for extreme temperatures. Right. So stuff like, well, if you're hiking up the mountain and you decide to camp, you should have a change of clothes that you change into before you sleep so that you're completely dry.
Right.
You should be able to boil some water so that you create heat inside the tent, but then you can also pour that water. I mean, like melt snow, boil it, pour that water into like a plastic bottle of water, and then put it in your sleeping bag. Wear layers, wear everything you have.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
It's like the sleeping bags that are designed for, you know, like -10 degrees Celsius that's the limit for if you're like completely naked.
Okay.
That's it. It will take care of you, and that alone.
Okay. So plus a jacket, plus pants, plus socks.
Plus all this stuff. You can basically ramp up the...
Right. Although I was planning on sleeping naked, but I guess I'll wear something if I have to.
I mean, you can start that way, and then I think you'll very quickly want to not freeze your balls off.
Right. And I'd be like, guys, let's zip all our sleeping bags together. And I'll
get one big one. That's another thing. Huddling together.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I don't know why I said it like that.
I know. I got experience. Let me tell you.
Done that many a time.
See, this is the kind of stuff that I like. It's like when it's so easy to be like, oh, we don't have all this fancy equipment. Because like buying a tent that's designed for like Everest or whatever. Yeah. It costs like thousands of euros or dollars or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're tempted to be like, well, we can never do outdoor overnighting without this fancy equipment. That's not true. You just gotta like work a little harder to get yourself
right. Hey, well, obviously it's a balance, but
of course it's a balance. I'm not saying we should climb without like the proper safety equipment.
It is really weird.
It's the exact opposite, but it's like you don't need that expensive single piece of equipment. There definitely are things you need a harness if you're going to be climbing on a glacier. Of course. Yeah. But there's a lot you can do without a massive budget if you just plan for it a little bit.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm nervous and excited. Nervous because I've never done it before, and I'm terrified of avalanches, and that's really the only thing I'm scared of.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the examples. Like if you're gonna winter climb, you need an avalanche beacon.
Right. And then it's just so
you need a shovel.
When you buy things that are specifically for your own life.
Yeah.
Like in a life or death situation.
You don't want to get a cheap thing. That's true.
No, but then it's like, it's kind of hard to draw a line somewhere.
For sure.
The crampons, whatever, Do I get a parachute airbag? One of those things for the,
Parachute airbag. I know what you mean.
Yeah, inflatable airbag.
Yeah. Basically, you can get these backpacks, right? Or it might even be the hood of your
I think it's now
jacket.
Like, it's like a back protector with the airbag thing in it.
Yeah. So when it can sense if you are in an avalanche.
Right.
And I don't know the science behind it.
Right.
But apparently it's very accurate.
It's probably like those helmets that they wear here.
When you crash, it inflates.
In Copenhagen, they have these inflatable
bikers.
helmets, yeah.
And then it basically keeps you above the snow if you're in an avalanche. Because
that's what I've heard is that you're supposed to try to stay, like swim to the top.
Yeah.
Right. Just don't let yourself get buried. So obviously, that's one of those things like that's super fucking expensive. I'm not going to get it. When I'm in the middle of an avalanche, I'm going to be like, God damn, I wish I spent the $400 on that parachute thing.
Right.
What do I keep saying? Parachute.
Inflatable
airbag.
No, but you have to look at, well, what are the risks? How likely are they to happen?
Right. And
how severe is it if it happens?
Right.
So something like, okay, it's we're planning to go at a time of year where it looks like it's going to be about -2 degrees.
Yeah.
So we kind of plan for that. All of a sudden we're out there and it's -15 degrees. That's quite a significant drop in temperature that we probably wouldn't be prepared for.
Yeah.
But in that kind of situation, if you've done a little bit of research, you could kind of make your way through that situation by changing your clothes, layering up, picking a better spot to camp, taking a little bit more time, stuff like that.
Don't touch the wall.
So it's like, it's a likely thing that could happen, but the risk also isn't as severe.
Right.
As in you could do something to mitigate it.
Yeah.
But, an avalanche, I'd say is less likely, especially if you have a little bit of knowledge about the kind of conditions that are most suitable for avalanches, and kind of how it works, and you're not going to like plow through a segment of the mountain that's extremely dangerous.
Right.
But if it happens, it's it's deadly.
Right.
It's like that's pretty much the worst that can happen.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a less likelihood, but the risk is so much more.
Right.
So you gotta kind of take care of it in terms of you need to get that avalanche beacon or transceiver.
Yeah,
I think that's what they're called. And you need to have a shovel, even though you'll probably never use it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll never use it.
Yeah. And that's being
it's just not worth it, right?
And we risk things every day. I mean, I ride my bike every day without a helmet.
Yeah.
Stupid. But I'm willing to take the risk.
Right.
As do many people. But I also, sometimes I find, and this is probably totally, faulty logic, but I feel like I'm more careful. It's like the whole thing. If I'm snowboarding and I have a helmet on and back protector and everything, I go a little crazy. Go a little too fast.
It allows you to push the limits a little bit more.
If I don't have a helmet on and a back brace, I'm like so slow and like I'll do a little jump or something. I'll be like, oh, that was a little too much. Okay, I'm not going to do that.
That's a good point.
It was the same on the bike. I mean, I see people do crazy things out here in Copenhagen. I mean, I saw a kid get hit by a car as well and stuff. And after, I'm so fucking careful. I always let the car go first. I always let whoever go first because I don't have any protection. I'm like, well, I'm not going to plow through this thing because I'm like a frail little boy over here trying to cross the street. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's a fascinating subject because it does test a lot of different skills and risk management and making decisions when things are not going the way that you thought they would go.
Right.
And just calculating stuff a little bit and not being reckless.
I'm curious because you've obviously done it before. I've never done it before. So I'm just curious, will I like it?
Yeah, I think so.
I get to the top and I could be like, well, this sucks.
Well, that was not worth it. What the fuck?
I think I will like it.
I think you will like it, especially if we get really like.
I'm excited to film. I'm excited to like
thing.
Yeah,
because it's so easy to get in your head, because like it's not fun to just be worried and scared the whole time.
No,
so you have to.
And snow is very scary. I've had a lot of freaky moments snowboarding and stuff. You know, like deep snow is kind of like if you like fall in some really deep snow upside down, you're like, I'm fucked. I can't get out.
Like you're stuck and you can't breathe. Yeah,
you know, and you're trying to push and all the snow is just moving out of the way, and like you always get out of it. But it's like that there's something in us that is like, this is dangerous. This is really bad.
It's definitely a mental thing as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant by it can like, even if you've taken all the precautions and it is pretty safe and you know what you're doing, or at least you're with someone who knows what's happening. But if you get in your head that it is still very dangerous, then it's not enjoyable. And then the whole thing's pointless. And you feel like, why did I even do that?
Right.
It's like about...
I think it's also it's
getting past that, like prepping for it, but then not letting that be the only thing that's occupying your mind, because there's a reason why we want to do it.
Well, it's like you know, I surfed for a little while.
Really?
And I was terrible. But the thing is that fear of a shark being near you is like constant until at some point you just kind of accept it. And I'm not the one who should be speaking. I'm so bad at surfing. I'm the worst.
And then you just like
get pitted, and then
and it was like,
and no, but it does go away at some point. And of course, somebody could be like, "Well, that's reckless." I mean, you're putting yourself in a situation where you are in danger, where you otherwise might not be. But it's like, you know, we do that constantly. So I think for whatever reason, the avalanches will slowly leave my mind. But that's kind of the only thing I can focus on at the moment.
The most dangerous thing about mountain climbing is people making poor decisions.
Yeah.
It's just, you hear so many stories of people getting caught up in the moment and going against what they know is safe.
Right.
And it's like a discipline, I think, to go with the intention of, I am really not going to deviate from what I know.
This plan.
Yeah.
Right.
What I know we can do. Or the plan, like turning around at a certain time.
Yeah. If anyone's ever seen Mount Meru, the whole moment when they're like, they can see the fucking top of the mountain, but they're out of food. They can't really do a full another day. And it's like, oh, you're so fucking close. It feels like literally you just need to, and they have to turn around and come back next year, which is just like very respectable in a way, because you know how much money and how much time and how much planning has gone into that.
How much passion.
For someone to say like, you know what, it's just not worth it.
Yeah. It's like really knowing what's worth it and what's not. Yeah. Like even in situations like, okay, so we're going to rope up, for example, meaning we're attaching a rope between the three of us, and we're going to spread out and we're going to walk across this dangerous section, because that's the only way we can get dangerous, meaning like maybe there's
crevasses or something.
Yeah, there's an avalanche danger there.
Okay.
Like it looks like a slope where that could happen. But then also looking at, well, what's the run out of that segment, meaning like what's below. So if an avalanche happens and it just kind of flattens out at the end, that's significantly less dangerous than if it's a slope and then a big cliff.
Right.
Like maybe we should do more than just rope up. Maybe we should actually attach ourselves to the rock.
Right.
And then do one person at a time.
Right.
It's like there's so much you can do, and being aware of what's happening, and also like when is it worth it, because you also have to look at, well, what's the consequence of doing this thing? It's not, everything can't be measured the same way. So I think what we should do is find a mountain where like, ooh, that looks like a challenge.
Right.
Let's try and do that one.
Yeah, but not too much of a challenge, because again, I've never done any of this. What if I get up there and I'm a total dud? But see, you guys are like, oh my God, Taylor.
But you've But you've been in the mountains before. You've been skiing.
Yeah.
You are familiar with that kind of situation.
I do shred the gnar.
Yeah. And you have experience with ropes now.
I do.
You get the basics of that. You know how to tie knots. You know.
I'm not a nerd about it.
You're not afraid when you're on the wall.
No.
You are physically fit.
Very.
That's what I mean. It's way more of a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's so much more of a mental thing than it is like all right, well, I'm an experienced sports rock climber. That's so much more technical than what we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a little bit of technique involved in like walking on crampons, but like you can learn that in like half an hour.
Okay. Anyway, I'm very excited. I think what would help though is to know. I know we don't want to plan too much, but something maybe I could start watching some videos or like watching other people do it.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
just to get a sense of like.
Let's get a mountain going and then plan okay, what does that actually entail?
Right.
Because you can find out a lot.
Yeah.
You can find the exact route that's doable, where people overnight, if there are any mountain huts we can sleep in.
Exactly.
What parts we would probably need to rope up, meaning you need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then rent an avalanche tracker, rent an ice axe. And otherwise,
I think we're
got
set.
the rest.
Let's fucking do it. I mean, we're going to do it. That's not the question. I'm excited for it.
But then also, filming it.
Yes.
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
I really want to do that because it's always worth it.
Yeah, we talked about that.
It's so much fun to have, for one.
Yeah.
But it's just also the added challenge. I personally like the challenge of filming in crazy situations.
Sure.
And that it like just when you then get back home and you need to set up something in your warm living room. Yeah. It's like, this is nothing. This is great.
Yeah.
And you become very grateful for like, I'm just going to take the train to the next place where I'm filming. And it's very easy. Just carry these on a flat surface.
Yeah.
Everything's working. A little bit of perspective. But then, I mean, we were talking about filming, like continuing the documentary, the behind the scenes documentary that I'm making about you making Boris and Johan.
Mm-hmm.
So now that we're going to start editing again, I want to start filming that again.
Correct.
And I think it might be a very cool thing to add to that process. And somehow, I don't know, we'll see what happens. But I feel like it will kind of, you'll still be in that mindset a little bit.
Yeah. I think 100% we need to film it. I think something really good is going to come out of it.
Yeah. And we can figure out what exactly to use it for.
Right. It could fit in a lot of different things.
It could. I mean, we've talked about wanting to do like a video for Goal Zero.
Uh-huh.
Have you thought about that more?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it's a good idea. The whole idea would be basically that we shoot whatever it ends up being without using any electricity. Or not any electricity, any sourcing all our power from solar power. Which would also be an added interesting challenge.
Is it doable? Because we're not going to be able to fly with that thing. So we'd only have the small ones.
We'd only have the small... How fast do those charge up when it's sunny?
We could probably get the big solar panel with us.
Yeah, of course.
So that obviously massively increases how fast it charges.
Right.
I don't know, though. But I imagine a couple of hours.
We'll work it out, because I think that would be a really interesting challenge. Although some things, it's like the fucking drone is just... I mean, it just eats electricity for breakfast.
But I don't think those batteries are very hard to charge. It takes
really?
like an hour to charge it.
Okay.
Which is like the same length as like one of the Sony batteries.
That's interesting.
The reason why it's so small, like it's a very nice, I like it. It's a lot of battery power in that span of time.
Okay. All right. You want to move on?
Sure.
Let's get to the bet.
Oh, finally.
Finally. I've come around. I've thought about it. Not too much.
Okay. But you have made it a decision?
Look, I want to go with first, because you were like, oh, I think you should do the no drinking, just be sober one, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, Yeah, I'm going to do the other one just to
do it differently.
Yeah. And then I was like, no, you know what? Let me go with that one. I'm happy to do that one. And I think I'd want to do a month, right? Which means
December 1st, or
I think I might start like Saturday or something.
Okay. What date is that?
24th. That I can have a nice Christmas beer in 1 month.
Okay.
Which will be nice to look forward to.
That sounds good.
Although I was at a bit of a pickle yesterday because I'm like, I think the social media would also be very helpful for me right now to not have any distractions while I'm editing. But then sometimes distractions are, I don't know. It's a
There's a lot we need to figure out about that.
What?
The whole editing thing.
Yeah.
Just in terms of like time wise.
I know.
Because it is here still.
Yeah.
And that all those things are still
exactly
going to have to be planned out in one way or another.
Yeah.
So it's like, when you leave here, what are you going to go home and do?
Yeah.
I guess
if
you can read
drink,
a bunch.
What do people do?
God. Can't drink. You can't watch anything is what I meant.
Oh my God.
I guess you can watch movies. That might actually be very helpful.
Yeah.
If you're forced to have to watch films while you're editing.
I just get rid of the YouTube. Right. Let me think about it. I might tack it on. Would you tack something on if I tack that? Or you think the six days is hard enough? 6 workouts per week.
Oh, it's definitely challenging. Yeah. But I could add something on.
All right. But we're going exactly down the path that we said we wouldn't.
No, but we're not doing it all in one. We're progressively adding on.
Right.
I could do something like I want to do the reading thing again because I've started reading again.
Okay. What's the reading thing?
Like a certain amount of hours
time
per week instead of a daily thing.
Okay.
That was the problem for me last time.
Okay. Well, we could tack them on, but for sure we know you're doing the 6 workouts per week.
Yeah.
I'll not be drinking till Christmas.
Okay. And we'll see if I add reading, and we'll see if you add social media.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, then now we need to once and for all finish this conversation on the podcast by coming up with a goddamn consequence.
And listen to what he's come up with.
You got ideas?
Of course I have ideas.
Oh, baby.
Because I'm running this motherfucking podcast.
He is running it.
I got a couple. Obviously, the most obvious one is money. But I feel like it's like,
Next.
Yeah. So what I kind of came up with was a couple.
Okay.
The first one would be you got to do a backflip off the 10-meter diving board.
Oh my fucking God. There's no way I'm losing if that's what it is.
Second one would be a completely naked ocean swim.
Yeah.
But you got to do it like in front of people. Like you got to go naked, go into the ocean.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Okay, yeah.
And come back out.
Yeah.
And put your clothes back on.
Okay. I can do that.
The third one, okay, so we're not going to do that one because you seem too into it. The third one would be, do you know this thing where people basically put on earphones and listen to music and they just start randomly dancing somewhere?
Dance like no one's watching.
It's so cringe that it would be the perfect punishment for us. We both hate social situations. To go into a grocery store, turn on a song, and dance for a full 3 minutes.
For a full song.
Right?
Like no one's there.
Would be pretty amazing to watch, I think.
That definitely gets me more nervous than
Get my hands sweaty.
The other ones.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
And then the fourth one would be one of us has to pay for both of us to get tattoos.
I like that one too. See, I just don't. I don't think we're not gonna complete this challenge.
I know that's kind of where I come.
So let's just do the dancing one.
Okay.
Because I really don't want to do that.
Okay.
I think the tattoo idea is a good thing that we'll probably do for something else.
Okay. I dig. So if you fuck up, the other person gets to decide where.
Sure.
You get to decide what song.
Yeah.
But it's got to be longer than 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, that's the deal. And maybe... No, that's good. I think at some point we should also do a bet where it's more like competitive, like who can do the most of this.
Yeah.
Like who can do the most.
So there is a loser.
So there has to be a loser.
I like that too.
But let's stay. It's in the Christmas spirit, you know. Everybody wins. Let's have a participation trophy, and let's just enjoy the next month of sobriety and working out.
Yeah. I'm already in a little bit of a pickle with my challenge this week. I have to do, what is it today?
Thursday.
So in the next 4 days, I have to do 5 workouts.
Nice.
I guess doable.
Nice. And I do want a log of all your workouts
I've got them. I've got them.
I want you to send them, and I want to I want to be updated.
That's part of the deal.
And I will send you an update on no drinks every night.
You'll
just send you a 0 every day. Okay.
But you're still allowed to smoke weed and stuff like that.
No.
Not either that.
No.
So nothing.
Sober.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify
that. This boy is going sober for the second time this year.
All right.
It sounds like I have a problem.
I think we already talked about this in the podcast. This does not mean that we feel like there is something we need to dramatically change about ourselves. It's just purely to keep things fresh.
Throw things.
Build some new routines, some new habits, see what'll happen.
Exactly.
It's a good thing.
Exactly. It's actually perfect because I think I'm flying out on the 23rd.
Sounds great.
So I'll...
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Start on the 23rd then.
Get ready for me to puke on Christmas, Mom. All right. God, don't break Phoebe's plant.
I know.
The thing's getting way too big.
It's great.
Phoebe, figure out your shit with this plant. Next thing. A little segment I like to call my gripes with the world. And you know,
oh, no.
When life is going pretty good, the smallest of things can really get you frustrated, right? And I just want to say a few because I think, you know, how do people possibly not know these small social etiquettes that make everyone's life better? We're all living in a community here in Copenhagen. It just takes one asshole to ruin it for the rest of us.
Okay.
Festivus for the rest of us. So my first gripe is the grocery line, okay? So the other day, I'm in the grocery line, right? It's hot. Everyone has their coat on. You know, everyone's a little bit uncomfortable already. And it bothers me that people don't put down their groceries, put the divider, and then step away from the conveyor belt so that the next person has a little bit of space to start stacking their things. That's how you do it. This fucking person, she was at the end of the conveyor belt, right? There's food at the front of the conveyor belt. There's nothing in the middle. She puts her food down at the very end.
How could she?
Puts the divider down.
Yeah.
And leaves it. And I kept on looking at her. I was like, are you serious?
And you had to hold your groceries yourself?
Again, I like to run through that grocery store. I never grab a basket.
No.
I literally, sometimes I'm like, something's about to fall.
Yeah.
And I'm like a kid who comes up to the conveyor belt and is like...
Yeah, there's someone somewhere else recording a podcast and saying, you know what I hate? It's when people are too stupid to remember to get a basket and they walk around piling up, getting frustrated at the cashier. I'm not bothering
anybody.
Standing there glaring at people who aren't speedy.
No, I'm not And she did that, and I was in such disbelief. I looked, and the people behind me, too, were like, they didn't know what to do. Oh, God. It was like a total fuck you to all of us.
Oh, man.
And I just couldn't...
Sorry that happened.
I couldn't fathom whether she really didn't realize it, if it was really a slip of the mind, or if, you know, do you blame her parents? You know?
Dude.
Do you put her in prison for 2 days? Because it's definitely an offense. Do you... Anyways, we'll get past it. There was also a guy who did the same thing, right? Puts down his stuff, then kind of leans on the conveyor belt and he's on his phone. Things going.
Yeah.
The lady right behind him. She, obviously, same problem. She's like, can I... And he doesn't notice. And I'm like, what? Just step away, please. Don't be on your phone. be a normal person in society, right? Step away from the conveyor. It just bothers me so much. It's disrespectful is what it comes across as. You're not concerned with other people. You're like, well, here's me and my groceries, you know.
The grocery store is an amazing place to exercise patience. I find it a very useful exercise going through the supermarket and navigating the people who clearly are in their own world.
Yeah.
And just letting it go.
Right.
People in the aisle who are just standing in the, you know, when like you walk down an aisle, you'll kind of like, if someone else is walking down an aisle, you'll like take a step back so that they can pass in front of you, or take a step forward so they can pass behind you. People who don't even see you.
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing it on purpose, but they are just not aware that there are other people there.
But do you know what it is? I could also be in the grocery store with my hood up and my headphones on. I take it off. Yeah. I'll take one headphone out or something because I want to be aware of other people. I know. It's not like was born with this gift. I'm like, I'm putting a little bit of effort in.
No, but don't you agree though? Like
it's so annoying.
I've had you know, situations where people are like paying for like a significant grocery bill with coins. Yeah. And it's like you feel yourself going literally. You're like the sound of the coin, you're like, you know, there's like at least 20 more to go. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, but I forgot to get a cucumber. I'm going to go run and get a cucumber. And you're like,
oh my God.
And you're like, and then it's just, there's something about like, you know what? Everyone else here is freaking out. I'm not going to freak out.
I'm not freaking out. Again, there are situations, the coins, I would be okay with. For those who don't know, in Denmark, a lot of the grocery stores basically have this receptacle thing that you throw your coins into. You just throw a bunch in and it'll kind of automatically count them.
Yeah. It's very slow though.
It's very slow.
Each coin takes like 3 or 4 seconds.
Because if you look inside, it's a tiny conveyor belt that's pulling one coin at a time. And if one doesn't work, then you got to like shake the thing and get the sensor to go again. Anyways, that's just one gripe. Okay, let's move on to the next one.
How many of these do we have?
I'll go quicker. I'll go a lot quicker. Biking side by side. I've talked about it before.
Yep.
You know, these people who think on the bike lanes, I'm just going to ride next to my friend.
So no one else can pass by.
So nobody else can pass me.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not even going to look behind me because fuck everybody else. I'm just riding here, having a good time. Sometimes I'm not even talking to my friend. I'm just riding next to him for no reason. Yeah. Sometimes I'm a couple and I'm holding hands while I'm riding bikes. Get over yourself, couples. You don't need to hold hands while you're riding bikes. It's to get somewhere. It's not, you know, it's a lack of awareness, right?
And then you don't even have your helmet, so you can't do your parkour bike maneuvers to get around them.
No, I do. I go through the grass and stuff. And
what?
Yeah. Well, a big problem is I don't have a bell, so I can't let anybody know that I'm behind them, which is probably that one's probably
I know
my
what
fault.
I'm getting you for Christmas.
That one's probably my fault. But
or you can just go honk.
It's still because when we drive side by side, we do it occasionally.
We do.
But I look.
And I'm very aware of how many times you look, yeah.
You know, because I don't want anybody behind me to feel awkward, like, oh, I need to get past these. Okay. Standing in the middle of an escalator. It's the same idea. But this time, you know I'm behind you. And you're like...
See, this is where you're going wrong. I really don't think these people know that they're being annoying.
But
you're thinking that they're doing it in some way on purpose because they don't give a fuck. But it's just a lack of awareness, whether it's in that moment or just in general, being
That's a nice way to look at it. Again, it's the German in me that comes out, where it's like the right is for standing, the left is for walking. Is that so hard, you know? And it really takes one person to slow down an entire train car worth of people trying to get up.
So what?
Again, that's a fair point. Yeah. But so what? What? Somebody's grandfather is dying, and they're like, "Lady, the freaking."
They'll probably be like, "That's what they'll do."
Oh my God, I just can't. And then
this could be a YouTube channel of yours.
No,
you could wear a GoPro,
I just
and you could show the situations.
No,
and then when you get home, you could narrate.
I'd rather just complain.
All right, so this is what happened. Look at this little fucker. This
just...
little girl on the escalator is not aware that she can't hold her mom's hand. She has to stand behind her. I want to get by.
No,
even though
little girl,
you stand on the escalator, you don't walk up the escalator,
girl,
don't you?
Who me?
Are you one of the people who walk up the fast part?
I'm a variable guy. Right. On peaceful days, I just stand to the right, as you should when you're standing to the right.
Yeah.
And then on
or you should wear a coat. You should get like patchwork done on your coat so that actually that wouldn't work because then only the people behind you would be aware. It could be like an arrow, like stand on this side if you want to go up.
People know it. People know,
but then they'd be reminded.
It's just. Let me get to the last point, which is people who stand in front of the train doors opening up, and it's the same issue in New York, and it drives me insane because, and this one really is. You can say what you want. Oh, they're unaware. No, it's people who want seats, and are too freaking, what do you call it? They're like too highbrow. Or it gets in my head because I'm like, is it really that important to have a seat to push your way through the crowd of people that are trying to come out just so that you get a seat before everybody else? Yeah. What gives you the right? What gives you... I would love to see the people who check the tickets at the train.
Yeah.
Be like, ma'am...
I'm going to ticket you.
No, like a kid. Like, you get back out of the train, and you come back in like a regular person, like everybody else.
I thought you were going to say they should be fined.
No, it's also, everybody lines up on the side of next to the doors. That's what you're supposed to do. So you let the people out, and there's a natural line that, if you were there first, that person goes in first. Mm-hmm. And if it's me or anybody else my age, you probably don't sit down because you're assuming that there's going to be some older people or whatever. You get your spot, then you kind of look around. And then if there's a seat open that nobody's taking, like, great, go and have a seat. But so you have this line, and then it just takes a couple people just to skip the whole line, stand in front of everybody. So not only are you cutting the line, now you're in the way of the people that are coming out of the train, and they just, excuse me, and just squeeze their way through. And I've had people, like, shove me on the way I'm out of the train.
Easy. Oh gosh.
I'm freaking out.
Oh god, he's gonna lose it. He broke the microphone.
I'm coming out of the train and I'm getting pushed back into the train and I'm like, this must be a dream. This must be,
this is why you couldn't fall asleep last night.
Maybe.
This is,
and I think it's all coming too. I've just had a lot of experience. A guy got hit by a car and the car driver just drove off, hit and run, and somebody stole our bike. And it's just little things where I'm just like, I do still love humanity, but there's some people that are just pieces of shit, and somebody's got to say it for the rest of us. A Festivus for the rest of us. And that's
true. I think that's an important point, and I think that's something to take away from the segment.
And it's all a joke, people. Relax. I'm not actually serious about the stuff, although I totally am. But, haha, it's a joke.
It totally is.
I just, and I agree. I do a lot of time do the same thing as you, and I understand that it's, somebody being ignorant, you can't really, and I don't mean ignorant like, oh, they're stupid. Like, they just don't know. So you can't blame them for that. But then there's some things that I'm like, I think people are just trying to get away with stuff. Like the grocery line, I'll stop. Okay. Is the camera going out? Okay. Do you want to start it real quick?
Yeah.
And then I'll do my questions and I'll be done. You know what I would actually like to do?
What?
I would like to make a registry. Like the sex offender registry?
Wait, are we back to this segment again?
Yeah.
I thought it was over.
Okay, sorry. It's going to make a social etiquette breakers registry. I take pictures of them, post it online, I expose them. I'm like Chris Hansen in To Catch a Predator. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing, sir, standing by the conveyor belt?
This was my idea with the YouTube channel and the GoPro. This is what I was saying.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Just the nerve of these people. I just can't.
Oh, wait. Timer just went off.
All
right, what we got?
Was that it? On my gripes? I feel like I had one more. Maybe I'll bring it up next week. okay, last like 2 episodes ago, you asked some questions.
Oh, I tried to start this little game that just got shot down. Where I was
I'm not shooting it down. Now I'm doing it.
I know, but 3 episodes later, I'm glad you've gotten to it.
Yeah.
The game is ask the other person questions to see how well they know you.
Right.
And I got super excited about it. I thought it was going to become like a weekly thing, or at least we do it for 2 podcasts.
Right.
But I'm assuming now you've got some questions to play the game.
Yes. And I ripped these off straight out of a Larry King interview.
So I'm supposed to answer these about you.
Right. And I don't really think it matters what my answer is. It's more
no, it doesn't.
Your
it doesn't. I think what does matter though is if you can confirm that.
Right.
It's not that I'm trying to hit what you're saying or what you're thinking.
Right.
At least that was what I was trying to do with my questions.
Okay.
I mean,
no. I got that. Okay. What is my favorite part of Copenhagen? What do I love the most?
Ooh. Now my annoying side is going to come out now.
What?
Now I'm going to get real specific and like try and make sure I know what are we talking, like physical space or like characteristic? Or like, are we talking like an area or?
No, what's my favorite? What's
like
my
favorite thing about Copenhagen?
Yeah,
like
just in general.
Okay, okay. All right, so it could be many things.
Right.
It's not like a part of the city.
No,
that you're thinking.
No.
Okay. Whew. Now I know why this was so hard for you to do last time.
Yeah.
Man, well, it's clearly not public transportation.
No. Although I do like it. They have a very good public transportation.
Yeah, they do. Self-driving trains.
One asshole doesn't ruin it for everybody. I will,
I think I'm gonna go off of what you said right when you moved here, which was what you liked was the feeling of openness and that it wasn't so cramped and crowded. There's a lot of space. So it's a pretty small city.
Right.
There's also not that many people living here either.
Right.
So it feels like there's kind of room for everyone.
Right.
And that it gives it like a quality that you don't feel like everyone is just doing their own thing. It kind of feels like a little community in a way. Is that fair in a way?
Satisfactory.
Did you have anything else that you were gonna...
I have no answers for any of these.
Oh, okay. You haven't thought of anything?
No. Because otherwise it gets into territory where it's like, if I'm answering my own questions.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about me? I'm kidding. What is a song people would be surprised that I listen to?
What is a song that people would be surprised that you listen to? Well, you listen to our podcasts, so you listen to that song all the time.
I do.
I don't know if that's surprising. But let me think of an actual song.
Maybe this one's too specific.
Is that weird to listen to our own podcasts?
I don't think so. I thought at the beginning I thought it was weird.
I did it for the first many episodes. I don't do it anymore. But it is so fun to listen to one that's like a few weeks old.
There's something about... I
find that very satisfying. Because you kind of forget what you talked about.
It's that, and it's also... I'm very much a person... I'll have a conversation, and I could walk out of that conversation and be like, oh, that was fucking so awkward. That was horrible. Taylor, like, you have no social skills, whatever. Then I watch it back, like with the podcast, and I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
No.
And I think everybody has that a little bit, that you kind of exaggerate the negative things and they kind of like ring in your head.
That's what you remember.
Right. And it's like just watching yourself again, you're like, there's something nice about it. It's like, oh, I'm not as you can see yourself in a bit more of an objective with more of an objective view, I think. And so you can also tell little traits that you have or little things that you do that you're like, oh, that's a little bit annoying. Why do you do that? I didn't know that I did that or something, So it helps too.
Yeah. Is there something that you have that you've picked up on?
Something that I have picked up on from the podcast.
I
think it's hard to be very specific, but go ahead.
This was before I used to like talk to people like this kind of. I think it's like an insecure thing. Like you're not quite confident what you're saying. Yeah. So your hand is constantly in front of your mouth.
Yeah.
And can't remember if like the podcast made me like realize how annoying that actually is.
Right.
But it's definitely something I'm very consciously aware of now, to also outside of the podcast to not speak with your hand on in front of your mouth. Like it seems obvious, but it's not when you're in it.
I think cops also use that. They think someone's lying if they talk like this.
This whole time I've been trying to think of a freaking song.
It's okay.
I don't really. We don't listen to too much music. The only thing is we listen to a lot of Kanye West.
We listen to a ton of music. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but not out loud, like not together. You'll listen to it when you're listening. I don't know what you're listening to.
I get it. Really? I feel like I play it every once in a while.
No, because you listen to music when you're doing graphics and I'm editing, so I have my headphones in.
That's true.
I have no idea what you're listening to.
Yeah, we do listen to it. Although I haven't been listening to that much lately. Anyways, if I didn't do film, what would I be doing?
If you didn't do film, what would you be doing? Maybe you'd be interested in doing like journalism in a way.
Uh-huh.
Or you'd like move off grid and like have your own little like farm and like grow your own food and live off of the land.
Yeah. And just all day I'd be mumbling to myself, "Oh, those fucking people in the grocery store.
I hate this.
I'd be that guy.
I have to wait for a train here. I could just walk by foot and smell the fresh grass.
Blaming the squirrels for bad etiquette. All right. Let's do one more. I'll let you decide which one to answer.
Okay.
What's my most embarrassing moment since we started Burning Boat? Or what will I be doing in 10 years?
Okay. I answer both of them. Let me think of, let's start with in 10 years. Like specifically or in general?
Specifically.
In 10 years, you'll be buried deep in some research project about something really, really obscure where you're trying to immerse yourself fully into the life of someone else.
Interesting.
So you're doing research for a film, and you're just getting completely engulfed by that whole world of what that person is. It's a documentary, I'm imagining. Okay. Something like, it's like a completely different project compared to what you'd normally do, because it's like a study of someone else.
Okay.
And so you're also trying to live their life as well, so you get a better insight.
Interesting.
And you're like completely by yourself with this project. It's like your own thing. You're with no one else. Your most embarrassing moment since starting Burning Boat.
What is the most embarrassing? There's been a lot. It's been a lot of cringe, a lot of awkward moments.
Oh God, there's so many flying through my head. Make sure I'm getting a good one. We'll be right back with a good answer.
Just gonna leave all this in now.
Don't leave this in.
Put in some crickets.
Zoom in on my face slowly. Put in some funny music.
I'll just name one.
I think this one's also embarrassing for me because I'm totally involved in this one.
Whoa.
So we're doing fear setting.
Right.
And your fear was approaching.
No, we cannot go. And I'll be honest, we just answered this question, and I've decided to cut it out. You
said it was too embarrassing.
It wasn't too embarrassing. It's It's too.
It's just too embarrassing.
It's not embarrassing. It's something else. It's like bad. It's like genuinely not good.
It's too hard to think of something on the spot for the embarrassing moment.
All right, that's fine.
For next episode, I'll think of something.
Think of something for next episode. I have 2 more questions actually that I can just save for the next episode then. Next episode for me.
Well, that's one of them's good. All right, for now.
I could give you a very straight. Who's the first girl I ever kissed?
Do I know this person?
I think so.
Catherine Schneider?
Younger.
Younger?
Yeah.
Is that not her name?
No, that's her name. No, I'm saying when I was young, there's a girl before her.
Oh.
It rhymes with Schmecile Schmiron. You might not know who she is. Cecile?
No, I don't know.
Oh, God damn it.
Another question.
This is a never-ending segment.
I'll just have to put all the moments of me thinking.
Well, now I'm out of questions. Now I'm burning all my questions for next week. What's the best advice I've ever gotten?
The best advice you've ever gotten?
Mm-hmm. These might be the wrong question. I think I'm asking like genuinely like interview questions. I don't really know how I expect you to riff off of these, or rather, you have to riff off of them. You're not going to know, obviously.
Yeah, it's like, how am I supposed to? That's like
a little bit of improv.
It's a judgment on your part on that. I find it hard to.
Yeah, but people have definitely said stuff to us. I mean, I think we could.
Right. I think within the context of the business, I think you'd agree that the best advice has been to focus on doing the best possible job.
Right.
No matter what. And then figuring out like payment afterwards, if that makes sense. But that the focus needs to be on the quality of the work. Even if we're getting paid, even if it's free.
Right.
Or if we're getting paid like a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the client is.
Yeah.
But like,
if we agree to work for you for $5, we're going to give you the same effort as if we had agreed on $20,000.
It's all about that. Like once we've said we're working with you, that's it.
It's on us.
And I think that is a very strong piece of advice that like really pays off in so many ways.
Nice. Thank God we made it through this goddamn episode, and we will see you next week.
Burning Bow Business.
Whew. The sweat is coming.
Oh, that's an embarrassing moment.
What?
I remember, we haven't talked about this. I remember once we were at a meeting.
With who?
I'm not going to say who.
Okay. What does it rhyme with?
Moles. And it was a big deal meeting, kind of. There's like a little bit at stake.
Yeah.
And it was like a moment where we were definitely kind of negotiating a little bit.
Yeah.
We were definitely letting it be known that we didn't necessarily agree with what they were saying.
Right.
And you kind of went like this at one point and leant back. And you just had the biggest fucking pit stains I've ever seen. And I know I saw them react to it.
Did I
They kind of like glanced down at...
it's happened to me so many times.
And then kind of leant forward again.
Times. I don't know. I think I just sweat a lot. In nervous situations, you know?
For sure, me too. It was just the combination of like the timing and the movement and the... It's definitely
I did that with the app people as well.
And sorry to bring that up on the podcast.
No, that's fine.
But that's my answer.
And no, but I did it with another meeting as well where you weren't there.
Oh yeah.
And the whole time I was like, Taylor, you got to bring it up. You got to bring it up. Because it's that thing of like, if you don't bring it up, they're thinking about it. But if you just say, oh goddamn. Like,
oh goddamn, it's hot in here.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're like, whatever, make a joke out of it.
I had some spicy curry before I got here.
Yeah, it's like then suddenly it's not an issue. And I just could not find a good moment to be like, what about those armpit stains, guys? Am I right?
When is there a good moment to say that?
I don't know. Apparently there wasn't a good one. Okay. Well, I'm thoroughly embarrassed and sweating, so we'll see ya. Never. I'm going to go kill myself real quick.